Hello, welcome to Shamanism, Metaphysics, and Grace. It's one of my favorite times. It's time for an astrology update with full moon in Leo this weekend. We're going to check in with Jyoti and find out what to expect. Hi,
Thank
Jyoti.
you. Hi, Lauren. Thank you. We have a full moon. The sun is in Aquarius. The moon is in Leo on Sunday, February 5th. It's at 11:29 a.m. Mountain Standard Time. And so, because at a full moon, the sun and moon are exactly opposite, this is squaring the planet Uranus, the ruler of Aquarius, by 1 degree. So that's the main part of this, that it's not just a full moon, it's also squaring the planet Uranus. And so as we build to the full of the moon, we think about maybe what we started at the last new moon and how we're bringing things to fruition. The energy is building, and then as soon as we have the full moon, the energy starts to wane down to the next new moon. And so this is power, this is building, this is, and then reaching that ultimate point during the full moon. And with its square to Uranus, the Uranus is the planet of change. It's the lightning bolt. And so it is pushing, this full moon is pushing for change.
Wow. How might folks see that in their life, Jyoti?
Well, I came up as I was writing this update. I can't, these questions came to me more than an explanation. It was like questions. So one of them is, it's asking us, what is the truth with a capital T? Another one is, what is calling you to change? Where is it time to shift your focus? And how can you become comfortable with life-changing things in front of you and not knowing which way to leap?
Give me that last one again. That was very interesting.
How can you become comfortable with life-changing situations in front of you and you not knowing which way to leap in that moment?
Hmm. So it's really about becoming comfortable with the uncertainty,
With
our
uncertainty,
own.
with yes, our own, yes, and with change and with not knowing,
Yeah.
not always knowing.
I feel like we're back in one of those not knowing stretches, aren't we?
Yes, yes.
Hmm.
And to an extent, I mean, this doesn't really involve Neptune, and Neptune is kind of like that fog and mist. And
Mhm.
so we're not going there. We're not heavy handed too much with Pluto right now. But we are looking at the planet Uranus that has been sitting in the middle of Taurus for a bit now. And, and the planet Uranus in Taurus is it's about earth changes, because Taurus is the earth and stability, and the planet Uranus is change and that lightning bolt. It's also very intuitive. It brings intuition and insight, but its main and it also has a big piece of freedom needs involved with it, but its main energy is change.
Hmm.
So earth changes, volcanic eruptions, earthquakes here and there. We've been seeing a slight increase in all of that kind of earth unsettledness over the past couple of years. And I think we'll see more. But right now, it's really pushing us to see where to go within ourselves for answers to these questions.
Hmm.
So, from my point of view, the best way to do that is to go inside and see what advice you can glean from your inner self, your dreaming, your meditation, your inner guides. And maybe the one main question out of all of these questions: what is the truth? What is calling you to change? Where is it time to shift your focus? I think the biggest question here is, what do I need to know in this moment to move forward?
Yes.
And I think that's like the cross section or the accumulation of all the other questions.
Yes, yes. And that's such a beautiful question to take into our dream life and cultivate an answer there.
Asking into yourself before you go to bed at night, what do I need to know in this moment to move forward?
Hmm. Hmm. You know, it's interesting. I know in my own world, there's been this buildup as the week has come on towards situations that felt conflicting. And that is actually the exact question I've been asking myself. What do I need to know? So this is really because of this energy pushing us to this
Yeah.
point.
Yes, this full moon squaring the planet Uranus,
Mhm.
because Uranus is change, and what do I need to know as I see change, coming toward me, coming down the road, or coming more and more into my life? What do I need to know? I mean, the sun is also trining Mars, a little wide, but it's there. And so there is a dynamic energy here to do something, not just to necessarily sit with, well, I don't know. I don't know which way to leap. I don't know the answers to these questions. And it's like, okay, well, maybe there's some things you can do, like we said, like we talked about, because Mars trine the sun is a very dynamic energy. It wants movement, it wants action, and so the trine makes it more easy to happen. There's a sense of flow, and so it says, okay, where might you need to put your attention in order to get the answers in the way that you can receive them?
Mm.
Some people might go for a hike. Some people might take a boat ride. Some people might sit and meditate. Some people might do a fire ceremony. Some people might fall asleep and wake up in the morning with an idea.
Yeah.
Maybe not full-blown answers with all the details, but an idea.
You know, as I'm listening to Jyoti, and I think about that churning because I too have felt that we all have, and quite often that churning in us can spark conflict with someone, like a partner, because we feel this unsettledness and we don't know how to cope, how to manage it, and so those suggestions you made are really powerful. That really what we need is not to, expect to feel different because of someone else, but take that time, take ourselves away.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely, take ourselves inside. And because, I mean, in all truth, Lauren, that's the only place to go. Where can you go? You can ask your neighbor, what do you think this is all about? They'll give you, where they're coming from, their answer. You can ask a spouse or an adult kid and say, well, what do you think I should do? And it's like they'll tell you what they want you to do or what they would do in that moment, but that not isn't necessarily what's on the table for you. And
Yeah.
so it's really about finding your path to the truth, and desiring that, holding that as an intention, because our desire body is like the magnet that draws what we need. And then, you walk into a store, or you're walking down the street and you run into a friend or somebody you just start talking to, and all of a sudden something they say triggers a realization in you, and it's like, oh, yes, that's what it might look like, or that's what I need to pursue, or thank you for that piece, or, whatever it happens to be. Because if we hold that intention, I mean, life will respond. Life will respond to what we pose to it, what we ask of it, what we long for, that desire body. I mean, it really is a magnet that brings it to us. We might not know the form it's going to come in,
Sure.
but it's going to come because we've asked for it.
Yeah. Yeah. Nice. You know, Jyoti, I want to rewind a little bit, and I'm thinking of some past astrology updates and thinking back to the end of December when we were preparing to go through that portal, right? And all the stuff couldn't fit through it with us. We were going
Yes.
to have to
Yes.
leave some things behind. And then we moved through that portal, and there were some moments of clarity in there. And at that time, I remember you talking about, and then we're going to approach this time where there will be time for change, and the energy to make the changes will be there. It
Right.
that is this the start of that?
This is, yeah, you could say that. Yeah, you could say that. You could say that this is the kind of sparking of that energy.
Hmm.
You
Hmm.
know, it might not be enough in the moment to have you go, okay, I'm getting rid of all this
Yeah.
stuff. I'm changing my life. Maybe I'm moving. You can all come with me, but maybe I'm moving, that kind of thing. Um, but I don't know that it's that powerful in the outside world that way. I think Earth changes, yes, in the outside world,
Okay.
but I think that it's a push into your own intuitional faculties and what does that look like? How do I avail myself of their energies and that insight, or do I just kind of go, okay, that's happening, and go, make dinner. Don't think
Yeah.
twice about it. But it's kind of, the planet Uranus is also a wake up. It's got that electrical, it's the internet, it's intuition, it's a lightning bolt, it's pushing for awakening. And so it might not be some huge awakening in a moment in time. I mean, for some people it could be, but it might be a gradual, bite-sized, step-by-step realization of, oh yeah, I need to make some changes here. This isn't really working the way I thought it would continue to work. It worked in the moment or for a
Yeah.
time, and now maybe it's time for something else.
Yeah. Yeah. I see that kind of like a trickle down of this awareness, right? And then it comes, there's enough of it that
Yeah.
finally you're ready to make that change.
Yes, yes. Or you get kind of shown. I was looking for the word there. You get kind of shown in several different instances or several different conversations unrelated from one to the other, pieces of information or almost like a directive, and then it's like, oh, wait a minute, this has been coming up for me in a lot of different
Yeah.
ways, and
Here
it's
and
all the
here.
same message. And so I think I need to pay attention here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Beautiful.
yeah. Because, sometimes it looks one way and then it shows up a slightly different way. But the underlying message is all the same.
Yeah. Yeah.
Look here, kind of.
By the way.
Yeah, by the way. Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
sometimes it takes two or three times though before we can connect all that.
Yes, yes. And it also reminds us to pay attention, not to kind of fall asleep or get caught in the lull of day-to-day life and responsibilities, because for a lot of people it's a lot. I mean, if you've got kids and family and all this stuff and a job and partner and it's a lot to pay attention to. And so having something more to pay attention to doesn't always feel great, but yet having an intention to be awake,
Yeah.
having an intention to notice what's trying to get your attention,
Yeah.
you know.
Nice. Nice. Thank you.
I remember driving into a town in Maryland or something, and there was this big billboard, and it said something like, "We're here for you." And my passenger from Canada nudged me and said, see, you don't have to worry. We're good."
All good. Yeah.
Yes,
Beautiful. Yeah. We get
yes,
messages from many places.
yes. The universe tries to accommodate us and keep us on our path, our true path, or deeper path. um, all the time. Sometimes you go through those times of like synchronicity where it feels like, oh, this is happening, and all of a sudden this showed up, and then this is happening, and this is just what was needed. And it's like, I wonder if those aren't moments of personal, heightened sensitivity and awareness,
Mhm.
and all of a sudden we see the connections.
Mhm.
And at other times, we're just kind of, doing the day to day and trying to make it through. And we miss
Yeah,
those little lights here and there that says, look here, now look here, and oh, look over here.
sure.
Yeah.
I like that. And so the fact that from that lens, it's always there. There's just times we're more aware of it.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. It's our level of awareness
Yeah,
and attention.
makes sense.
Yep.
Anything else today, Jyoti?
No, I think that's enough.
That's a lot. That's a lot. Yeah, well, folks, enjoy this wild ride of the weekend. Enjoy the days come after the full moon as things settle down a bit. Jyoti, if folks want more information on astrology, where would they go?
www.jyotiwindastrology.com. I have a blog and I put up my astro updates on there from time to time.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.